I don't know how many times we need to go over the same shit week in, week out with Preston this season. It's a slow start to the season. I can understand and appreciate we could be doing a lot better or a lot worse, or blah-de-blah. But I'm sick of making excuses for the team at this point. Sheffield was not our worst performance this season, not by a landslide. Cardiff was. But this is still embarrassing because of the difference in looking at these stats I'm about to show you and actually watching the match, because these stats aren't going to tell you what both halves were like. It doesn't. Because I'm going to tell you what both halves were like because I'm still infuriated by it. So I'll get the screen on with the stats and I'll go over my first half and my second half. So the first half was off to a rocket start as we was running the distance and making challenges as well as looking ready to actually score as we took a lot of shots. We danced around Sheffield until a stupid mistake at 43 minutes which led to a goal for Sheffield. Rather than going wide or to the keeper with a header, the header was sent into the middle of the pitch where there was about 5 Sheffield bodies, which ultimately led to an easy goal for the Sheffield lads as we scrambled to get the ball back. Bit of a shame really. The second half we didn't look to be in control at any point. It was shambolic from almost everyone at all times. There was no standout all game apart from Alvaro and Ellie McCann at this point, who was subbed off at 69 minutes. Never have I heard us boo a decision as loudly as that in my life. We was not happy at all, and it only got worse as Sheffield scored again. It's a shocking display from all of us in the second half. So I'll go over the stats, and then I've got a few more things to talk about, which is points to make, and then pros and cons as per last video. So there'll be permanent points for these videos going forward, I suppose. But the stats, we had 18 shots, they had 15. They had 6 on target, we had 3. So I don't know where this is, obviously because I don't count how many shots we have per game, but it really did not look like we had 18 shots all game. I thought we only had about 11 or 12. We really did not seem to have that many, so how we had 18 shots comparable to their 15 is very baffling to me. Of course, they had a better on-target ratio than we did, but that's to be expected with a team of this quality at the moment. We had the most possession, which I could definitely see, but we didn't utilise it well because, like I said in a few videos at this point, it's not possession that wins you a game. Possession can prevent them from scoring, but one little mistake and then you get absolutely paggered like this. It's ridiculous. We made the more passes. We was accurate in what we was doing. A lot of fouls as per usual. We only took 1 yellow this time. We had 7 corners and 1 offside. And this now puts Sheffield at the top of the league, still 3 points clear, and we've dropped all the way down to 15th at 12. Now, I've read a few post-match interviews at this point, and I'm sorry, but these excuses, they need to stop. They're not exactly excuses, but then some of the things that some players are coming out with, for example, with Alan Brown, he's saying he's disappointed and he's getting frustrated himself, and we need to sort the problem as fast as we can. But we're still only 3 points off the playoffs despite not scoring that many goals. I'm sorry, that's not the point. The point is we're at 15th place. We're trying to be designed to play attacking football, and we're not scoring any fucking goals. We've got a goal difference of -1 for fuck's sake. We've played this many games. We're sitting on 12 points. Meanwhile, the top of the table in playoff is between 15 and 23. Now, that's a big ratio, and of course, Sheffield and Norwich are doing really well for themselves at the minute. Everyone else is sort of interchangeable at this point, but come on. We can't be saying we need to sort it out, and we're getting bored of it just as like the fans. If you're bored of it, do something about it. I'm not being funny. Brown's part of the problem as well. I love Alan Brown, but come on, really? You gotta like stick up for your friends and whatnot, but you gotta point the blame where it's necessary, because Alan Brown has been one of our most average players this season. He's not been great. But we'll have a look at the ratings, and then I'll make my points, and then I'll look at these 2 interviews from the gaffer himself, it's his birthday today as well. This is going out on his birthday. Happy birthday, Ryan. I'm going to give you loads of shit in a minute. Anyways, I'm using Lanks Live this time for play ratings, because I looked on SofaScore and they said our worst player was Andrew Hughes and one of our best players was Troy Parrott. So I don't trust SofaScore anymore. It's bollocks. They just calculate it based on things that the players do, and if that's the case, all these players, especially Troy Parrott, they're just stat hoarding, and if they're stat hoarding like Bruno Fernandes, I don't want him on the team no more. So Woodman was given a 5, Story a 6, Lindsay a 6, Hughes a 5. Again, I don't know why everyone was saying Hughes was a poor rating. I know he got sent off early with an injury. Oh shit, no. What am I fucking chatting shit about? I know he took a bit of a knock, and that could have maybe hindered his performance, because his first half was actually really good. But even in the second half, he wasn't terrible. I mean, come on. Potts a 6, Alvaro 7, yeah, absolutely. Whiteman a 5, McCann a 7, absolutely. Brown 6, Parrott 5, Reese 5. Substitutions, Brady 5, Johnson 6, Evans 5, Maguire 5. Letson 5. You know we're getting desperate when we're playing fucking Tony Maguire. So can I vouch for these? Woodman, probably, yeah, because obviously we conceded 2 goals and one goal probably could have saved. The other one I'm not too sure, but he looked alright in a few places. Story is 6, yeah, he's genuinely just an all-around good player, but he is one of the he is the person who headed that ball into the poor area, which caused us to concede. Lindsay was good all game, I think, but he never did anything too special. Hughes, I've talked about. Potts, I really think Potts should have been the one to be sent off, not Alvaro, to be honest with you, but oh well. Potts looked okay, but he just lacked any threat, as it says there. Fernandez was fantastic all day. He absolutely pushed through the barriers, pushed through the defence, kept the ball on him at all times. After he was challenged, he tried to keep the ball, and he did. He opened up the defence masterfully, went down the middle at all times, didn't try to play out wide like everyone else does, and he's a different quality. He's an absolute different level of quality compared to everybody else on that team. And it's a shame, it really is, when we're having to rely on our loan players to do all the work for us. But yeah, his withdrawal was booed, and understandably so. So yeah, Alvaro was fantastic, and it's good to see him starting. Whiteman should have been taken off, if you ask me, because Whiteman just does. He hangs around the midfield a lot. When it comes to derby days, Whiteman's all there, but when it comes to any other game, he doesn't do much. So I don't know why we don't sub Whiteman off, because he doesn't exactly control the midfield. He'll just make a few passes and nothing else. Yeah, and it was robbed of possession, which led to the second goal as well. McCann 7, again, fantastic to see him starting more. And yeah, he was one of the shining stars of the game. He's so creative in what he does. I mean, he didn't create many chances, but in terms of midfield play, compared to, let's say, Alan Brown, Daniel Johnson, he's such a creative individual, as is Fernandez, which is why they was booed when they got taken off. Look at how slow he was and how boring he was when they got sent off. We couldn't do anything. They are the best players we have in that midfield, and probably one of the best players on the squad. Keep them on. Do not send them off. Brown a 6. Yeah, he didn't exactly do much. Parrott, again, he lost the 1v1. I don't know why it takes so long to hit the ball. You can't score a goal if you don't hit the fucking ball. This applies to everybody, not just Parrott. Parrott's bad for it himself, but come the fuck on. He just does not look dangerous. He really doesn't. Viva Cameron Archer. And Reese a 5, again, didn't exactly do much, and he got sent off at 70. Brady came on with 20 minutes left, didn't do much. Johnson came on, he tried to be creative, and I suppose he was in a few places, but still not. It wasn't exactly great. Evans did too much, but at least he showed pace. Tony, I don't know why I call him Tony. His name obviously Shawnee, but I don't know. I think Tony Maguire just sounds funny. He played a few passes, and he had a shot for a penalty turned down. But if I'm being completely honest, I would have booked the motherfucker for diving, because I don't think it were a penalty. I really don't. At the time I did, but for the most part, no. You're a striker. Don't be falling down on the floor trying to get a penalty as a centre forward. Like, I don't know. I don't care if that's what he did in the Central League and it worked to get a penalty. I couldn't give a fuck. Hit the ball. Enough. And Ledson again, 10 minutes, didn't do much. Well then, with that aside, we've now got this little section to talk about before we move on. We've got a long video today, boys. Right, so points to make is we continue to play out wide with 0 success. I say this all the time. Instead of going down the middle and trying to break open a defence, we always favour going out to the touchline and then try to basically smash a ball down the middle or cross a ball through the middle. And the crosses, while most of the time they are quality, they don't amount to anything, because by the time that ball's reached us, the defence is all over us because we haven't broken the defence. We can't do anything about the defence if we can't break it. You know, positioning's not great either, and our forwards are too small to even get a header in. So it's pointless to do that. You know, why can't we just go down the middle? Simple. Work together. Help each other out. I'm going to talk about Lord's reason for the subs in a minute. Parrott's 1v1 problem I've just mentioned, and Maguire, even though he went down, he still looked okay, I suppose. So I don't know, maybe we should start playing Maguire again for all I care. And Sheffield fans as well, you lot are so boring. There's 4,000 of you there, you nearly sold out your allocation, and you only made noise after you scored in at full time. Are you kidding me? 4,000 of you. 4,000, I couldn't even hear you. All lot of you boring. Considering you're top at league and everything like that, you're all boring. Right, pros and cons. I've only got 3 pros this time, which was a fantastic first half, a turnout of just over 18,000. And oh no, I've only got 2 because I've repeated the same point twice. Yes, which is good first half performance. Oh dear. And our cons was an awful second half. We're reluctant to attack and challenge again. We conceded twice. We still can't score. We made strange substitution choices, and the manager clearly hasn't been backed, which is something I'm about to talk about now as well. So if we go to these interviews now, the first one, which is mainly about... actually, no, we'll do this one first, which is about the boos, if anything. And well, every interview, Ryan Lowe always says the fans have they pay their hard-earned money so to come and watch and support us, so they have the right to voice their opinion. I understand that much, and I appreciate a manager that can appreciate that as well. More pay, that's Everton, isn't it? Everton's just gone 1-0. Come on, West Ham, one more. Right. Yeah, this is what I said. So obviously he's talking about the boos here when Alvaro came off. And he said, what they don't know is Alvaro took a knock to his thigh at half-time and was struggling to run towards the end. He had to freshen it up. And I'm not being funny. Fernandes and McCann looked fine. I know the argument is to get some fresh legs on the... Like here, I get the frustration, but you have to look at the other side. A lot goes into these changes, and Ali and Alvaro are nearly covering 8 to 9 kilometres already. Really? What, is that too much? Get them running more. We should be covering at least 15. I'm on still. You can't. It's very difficult to run that much. I understand that, but come on. That's why we should be up to match fitness and match speed. These 2 are the best players we've got on the pitch, and you're taking off because of how much running they've been doing. That speaks levels about them compared to everybody else on that pitch. Everyone else should be making that distance. So why are they not? Answer me that question. So at some point they'll get a time fatigue. I'm not being funny as well. They could have gone for another 5-10 minutes easily. They look fine. I think they looked fine, especially Alvaro. And this is another one that really did fucking do my nutting. So I get the frustration, but please be patient with the group because they're working hard. I can appreciate that. It did take me by surprise about the boos, but Alvaro is a 20-year-old kid who has never played championship football before or any first-team football. He's finding his feet well, and he'd tell you that. Okay, but he's played for the Man United Academy basically all of his young career, and he's won countless games with them. He's been their countlessly praised player. He's their star player, and they win so much. What? So what is championship like? Not on sort of on level with under 19s with Man United in Premier League 2? Is it really not? Because I tell you what, that league looks millions miles harder than this fucking shit does. He's up against a lad who's made probably 300 appearances in the Championship. Alvaro was going to fatigue at some point. I understand what he's saying there. I think he was fantastic in the first half, and then it died off a bit towards the end. It didn't. Ali has obviously played 45 minutes the other night and then gone again, so I didn't expect it, to be honest. But it's football. It's not football. It's a stupid choice. They could have kept going. That's the point. Fair enough if they're tired. I can appreciate that, but just 10 more minutes is all they needed. Just 10 more minutes. And then there would have been less boos, I can promise you that. Fans can voice their opinions, but I think it's the minority. I don't think it's a minority because that was loud as anything. And then the last section to talk about here is actually the manager being backed. Because this says here, I don't want to harp on about the recruitment. And when asked in regards to false promises, he said, when I say false promises, I haven't promised that we will get to the playoffs. False promises can be misread, really. The word I was looking for was probably getting too carried away. It's just the top end of the pitch, isn't it? Large parts of the performances outweigh the negatives, I'm sure, so promises was probably the wrong word. But what I'm pushing for us to do is take the club to the next level, and we'll keep doing that until we're blue in the face or until we cannot. We've lost a game of football, it's our second loss, we've drawn too many, one less than we want. Our season will not be determined on this result. Yeah, I understand that. And then when it comes to going forward, as well as the West Lancashire derby, which is Blackpool, he says, yeah, listen, bring it on. There are tough patches, but the majority of the fans know that what we're trying to do. Yes, we know what you're trying to do, but you're not showing it. Things cannot just happen overnight in terms of players coming and going. We've had one or less, we've more or less had one transfer window, and that's not to say the group we've got are no good. They're all fantastic in different ways. So again, we've got to do the right thing by the players, the fans, and the club. We've just got to be sticking together and believing that we can win games of football when you put performances on like that. Sorry, Mike, again. They should win your games of football, but at the moment they are not. And that's the problem there. If you read this, you don't have to read into it too deeply, but this section here is him when he says, I don't want to harp on about the recruitment, because he wants to say, yeah, we've got all the lads we need. He knows he doesn't have the lads he needs. He needs that striker and he needs that right wing back. We have not got the attacking quality. We've got the defensive quality perfectly. It's nailed for the most part. But then that midfield slightly lets it down at times, and even Alan Brown said we're probably frustrating the back lot. And then the forwards, the quality's just not there. They're not working together. Here's an example. Let me show you a game from 2016. Right, PNE Blackburn, 2016. Right, when we won 3-2 against the Plastics. Callum Robinson. Here, where are we? Oh no, this is. I'm not thinking of this one. This one's wrong. Sorry. Which one am I thinking of? There was a game in 2016 that I'm thinking of. It might not be 2016 actually. No, because Brown was on the bench. Brown started that game. When we had Maguire, hold up, sorry. Brent's trying to think. I think it might be 2018 maybe. PN18 2018 squad. Because we had Shawnee. Right, PNE 2018. See the fixtures in 2018. So when Aston Villa was still in the league. Good Christ. And them boys had it hard. Can't remember what game it was. I'm just going to try and take a game. Any game. It's in Norwich. Let's see the lineup. We had Rudd in the net. Maguire, Potts, Brown, Barkers, and right. No, it weren't 2018 then. 2017? Let's just take this. Yeah, Sheffield in 2017. Let's have a look at that. This might be the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. No, yeah, this is the one I'm thinking of. This is exactly the one I'm thinking of against Sheffield at home in 2017. Of course, we've got a different squad. They've got a different squad. But this is the point that I'm trying to make here. When you look at these lads that are on this pitch now, what does it shout? It doesn't shout maximum quality, because it's not. Let's be honest. This isn't a fantastic team by any stretch of the imagination. But the difference is, oh no, it's not. Sorry, it's not even this game, because Josh Earl's not in that lineup. Because I remember Josh Earl being there. I'll think about it eventually. I can't think about it right now, but this is roughly around the area that I'm thinking here. Because I think Rob was 7 at the time. I don't fucking know. But it was around this era. It was around this time. We did have Robinson still. Up front, right, we had Robinson, Alan Brown, okay? Instantly, two people that work together. Two people that are happy working together. They know each other. And towards the back, Paul Hunter, Cumbrian Cannavaro, Ben Davies, who we've sent to Liverpool, and Liverpool don't even want him. Fair enough, he's going on to, I think, Rangers, so that's good for him. But yeah, we had Fisher, Galley, right? Hugill, one of the best attackers we've ever seen at Preston. Barkhazen, who he had his time. And obviously Johnson were a better player back then as well. This midfield here in the middle. Ben Pearson, Paul Gallagher, Daniel Johnson. Fantastic. Jordan Hugill, goal machine. Callum Robinson, influential and goal machine. Tom Barkhazen, liability, but goals. At the back line, we had Clark, Huntington, Davies and Fisher. They're not the best defence we've ever had, but come on. They got the job done. And we don't talk about Maxwell. But when we look at the bench as well, Andy Boyle, Horgan, Brown, Josh Harrop, which I don't know, I don't really want to speak about Josh Harrop. We had O'Connor, and then whoever you were, I don't remember you. Of course, at the time we had Alex Neil. But this is the point that I'm trying to make. These lads were happy working with each other. The lads at the minute, I don't think they're happy working with each other. Of course, I can't make that statement. I don't know anything about what's going on the inside, but to me, it just doesn't look like they're happy, if that makes any sense. It just doesn't look like everyone's all there. And that's my biggest concern, because if you want to score goals, you've got to enjoy working with each other. You've got to understand each other and how they play. I don't think Reese and Parrott know how each other work. They don't bother. They're not bother trying to get each other to work with it together, if that makes sense, you know. But then when it came to Robinson, Barkhazen and Hugill, Robinson was able to create plenty of chances and take his own chances. Gallagher was one of the best midfielders I've ever seen in my life. Johnson was fantastic at the time as well. Like I said, Pearson was great. He went to Bournemouth, I think. And then Davies, we just got rid of, which was a shame. Obviously, Hunt's has retired. But then, like I said, Hugill now, I think Cardiff lad now, something like that. He was a great lad. Barkhazen as well. Of course, he's now gone to Derby. I think his time's up with a majority of first team football at this point. But the point, I've said it a million times in 3 minutes, the point, I can't stress the point enough. This is what we need. We need a squad that understands each other and a squad that loves working together. This current squad, in my opinion and in my eyes, it doesn't really look like they enjoy what they're doing. They don't enjoy the football, because these two have no idea what they're doing together. Brown is sort of the I don't know if Brown doesn't understand what his role is in this current squad or whatnot, but he just doesn't look like he's all there. Neither does Johnson. McCann's fantastic, and we need to play him constantly and get him improved. Fernandez as well, again fantastic, but when you're competing with Fernandez and Brady to go on the pitch, and then you got players like Ledson and Johnson competing with Brown and McCann, just as that kid, to compete with each other. Why are we not sending off Whiteman? Whiteman's not doing anything. Send him off and then send Ledson on, or send on somebody else. You don't have to take off our two best players in account for that. Get them match fit. Hughes was good. It was good to see Hughes back again. But I mean, come on. Yes, Preston.
Wrong number 15.
I know. It's really, it does my tree in, because we have so much potential to do so much good, and we just can't utilise it because we don't have the quality up front. It's a big shame. I have had a check. There we go. We're 15. I know. It's a huge shame. Yeah, it's a massive shame, because everybody at the back has been working so hard to get this team ready for the league, but the front just can't do it. They don't want to communicate, and they don't want to put that effort in to get to know each other and how each other play. So whatever this attacking style of football is that we're trying to play, the lads don't understand it, and we definitely do need more players. But manager's not been backed. Ridsdale, according to sources that I've heard from, Ridsdale says he's been fully backed. It's bollocks. He hasn't. Of course he hasn't. He needed more players, and he knows that. Look how many signings Forest made. I know it's a bit over the top, but that's a manager that's been backed. That manager came in, as soon as he came in, he took him straight to the top of the league. It's baffling, but yeah. Blackpool are still underneath us, so that's good. Yeah, no, but Blackpool are still underneath us as well, 19th. Agent Appleton doing the good work. Oh, we will batter him, don't you worry. But hopefully. But yeah, that's enough from me. I've had enough rambling. Shit needs to change. It's as simple as that, because I'm sick and tired of seeing the same excuses week in, week out, the same stupid, boring football week in, week out. You can have as much quality as you want at the back and as much quality in possession, but if you ain't taking advantage of your shots, and you're not taking advantage of trying to score a goal in a correct way, creating chances, being creative and taking off your creative players, we're never going to score a goal. So yeah, over this international break, let's hope some work can get done, and let's hope we can feed enough feedback to Ridsdale to get us some more cash for that winter window. But yeah, I'll try and find some content to push out during the international break, because obviously we have no matches for about 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, I'll find something to do. But for the meantime, I've been me. Go follow the Twitter in the description. Okay. Yep, go follow the Twitter in the description. Push out the content even further, I suppose. We need to get... I'm starting to recognise people who recognise me now, so that's good. So the more thumbs up we get on the videos, the more reach it's going to get, the more people that subscribed as well. Helps us out a ton. So yeah, share the word, I suppose, and let's hope the year season only improves. But in the time being, thanks for watching, and be sure to try and catch me on the Real Jack Army soon as well for the monthly reports.